The Fourth Way, Part 3 of 3. Topic 9, Changing the Very Meaning of the Word God. The diagram shown is called the diagram of everything living. The diagram conceals information. Sometimes we look at it as secret information, but it's not really secret information. It's just information we have not deciphered from the symbol of the diagram of everything living. The symbol of the diagram of everything living is shown two-dimensionally. And the information I am providing within these presentations discloses the information that is hidden within the symbol through a very simple process. The process is changing the diagram of everything living from two-dimensional to three-dimensional. We live in a three-dimensional world, and it's difficult for us to imagine information coming from a two-dimensional picture that is hidden behind the symbol itself. Now, some might say that the diagram of everything living exists in more than just three dimensions. Some might say it also exists in the dimension of time. But that's not quite accurate. The diagram of everything living is knowledge. Time has nothing to do with knowledge. Knowledge just is what it is. It's knowledge. So how can we say it exists in a three-dimensional existence? We can say it exists in a three-dimensional existence because although all we have ever seen regarding the diagram of everything living is the diagram of everything living being presented two-dimensionally, we have never seen it presented three-dimensionally. Two-dimensionally, we gain a lot of knowledge. But three-dimensionally, we gain knowledge that has never before been seen by anybody in the Gurdjieff Society or anybody in ancient times. The diagram shown previously of the diagram of everything living was taken from the book called In Search of the Miraculous, The Teachings of Gurdjieff, written by Ouspensky and published by Harcourt, 1949-1977, page 323, figure 58. So the question becomes, does Ouspensky own the rights to the diagram of everything living? Well, actually, Ouspensky does not, because Ouspensky didn't originate the diagram of everything living. He took it from Gurdjieff. So the question then becomes, does Gurdjieff own the diagram of everything living? Which means the Gurdjieff Society owns the diagram. And in actuality, that is not the case. The diagram of everything living belongs to humanity and was given to us by the ancients. The diagram of everything living is initially explored in topic 5 of these presentations, chapter 5 of the book from which these presentations come. And it deals with what the ancients told us. The diagram of everything living belongs to no individual, belongs to no group. The diagram of everything living is generic knowledge. We can find this information regarding who owns the diagram of everything living in Wikipedia, which states, according to G.I. Gurdjieff, some of the ancient geocentric models don't represent an Earth-centered universe at all, but in reality display the diagram of everything living. This confusion was due to a lack of knowledge on the part of those examining the diagrams. Thus, the diagram of everything living is part of ancient knowledge. It was also a part of modern knowledge, as shown by the fact that Gurdjieff learned it in Asia and the Middle East. In other words, he did not create the diagram of everything living. Wikipedia then goes on and says, as shown by the fact that Gurdjieff learned it in Asia and the Middle East, and during the end of the 19th century and the early part of the 20th century, it became knowledge for us when he brought it to the West in the 20th century. At that time, it was noticed that fragments of this knowledge had been known from historical and ancient times. Now, why is it important to know who owns the diagram of everything living? Well, the diagram of everything living has much to tell us in terms of understanding ourselves, both as individuals and as a species. But it was in the ethereal that I was given information that has never been seen before, which the diagram of everything living conceals. And because of this, in order to provide you with this hidden knowledge, I have to establish the fact that the diagram of everything living is common knowledge. So what would this illustration of the diagram of everything living look like in a three-dimensional depiction? Well, figure 9.8, which we will discuss in more detail in all of the presentations, demonstrates what it is the diagram of everything looks like three-dimensionally. With this depiction, we can gain a tremendous amount of knowledge regarding ourselves and our interaction to the whole of reality. Immediately, one will see gray boxes involved in the diagram of everything living. Those gray boxes represent the silence. And from this, we can see, we may not understand yet, but we can see that the silence plays a significant role in our understanding of reality. Now, this is not my own creation. This information was provided me by the committee that worked with me in the ethereal. Now, there is no doubt that one's curiosity may be piqued by the demonstration of a three-dimensional model of everything living. There is a tremendous amount of knowledge there regarding ourselves and our role in reality and what reality is. But it's going to have to wait for a while, because in these presentations, topic 9, we are dealing with a change in the very meaning of the word God. Now, the symbol for the eternally unchanging is represented in the diagram of everything living. Not the three-dimensional model, but the two-dimensional model. And the eternally unchanging and the absolute both include the same symbol. Both contain the symbol 9.5. In the next presentation, we are going to look at understanding what we are talking about in terms of both the ethereal, the diagram of everything living, and in terms of, quote, being knowing, quote, unquote, as opposed to, quote, having knowing, unquote, or what we call the nuance of vocabulary.